Thank you guys so much for joining us. And for this call, this is going to be our monthly auto shop marketing workshop. This one is going to be called How to Get More Calls from Google. And we got 5 things every shop we should be doing. It's actually going to be more than 5 things, but it's kind of 5 little deals. You did get a checklist that I sent earlier. And if you still need it, it should be in the chat. There's a link there in the chat as well. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So let's go to the next thing. So who's this workshop for? It's really for any auto shop. Let's see, we got someone coming in. It's really for any auto shop out there, auto repair, auto body, collision shops, detailers, PDR, including hail, custom shops. So really the only thing is, okay, if you want to increase car count or get more customers, this is for you. So real quick about me, I think you guys have seen my videos and stuff out there, but it's kind of my quick background. I've been helping auto shops across the country, including all those ones I just mentioned, Google, Facebook, business partners. My big background is Navy, retired Navy, used to fly this helicopter. What I want to talk about is you guys and getting more customers on Google. Today really isn't about theory, it's about actionable things you can take right now. So here are 5 things to check and improve at your shop. First of all, what I want you to do is think about how you currently get customers. This is pretty easy to think about. I already know you can say the answer right now. For most people out there, if you're not running ads, it's word of mouth or referrals. Maybe your online presence is good enough, but if you're not getting consistent new leads, then it's probably this thing, and it's not a reliable growth strategy. But hopefully, we can help change that by a few things we're going to do today. So, today we're going to talk about there's going to be really 5 things, and it's kind of these things right here your Google business profile. I'm going to actually pull up a profile and we can go through it step by step. And hopefully you guys can just take away some things to do right now. Reviews, your website, what people are searching for, and then your Google ads and lead follow-up. So some of these you may have, some you don't, but at the end of the day, hopefully you can take away some things and this will benefit you. All right, so open the Google visibility checklist I sent you. You should have got that email. If it's not, it's also in the chat. Let me just drop it in there again for anyone who came in late. So there it is again. Let me see if I can pull it up. All right, so here it is. It's a Google link, so you may have to make a copy of it. You might be able to just download it straight. So we're going to go through each of these. Obviously, you can read it yourself, but I'm going to walk through this stuff with you and show you what I see. So we're going to go through this stuff. So first off, if you can pull open your Google business profile, hopefully you have one. If you don't, then that's what you're going to have to fix. You're going to have to get one. This is kind of an example. I don't even know if these shops exist or not, but this is kind of an example to look at, but I'm going to pull up an actual one. I think I have one here. Okay, so this is actually examples so if you're on Google Maps, I just looked up auto body shop. I think this is in Memphis, Tennessee. So all I did was search auto body shop, and these are the guys that come up. So if you don't, obviously, you should know what a Google business profile is. It's a little map, a little deal on Google Maps. If you have a service area, then it won't show up here, but it should show up on the side, and it would show up in a little diagram, however you have your service area laid out. So this is what it looks like. Ideally, you pull open yours and see, you could type in your service and see what happens in your area, and you can see how it flows. So that's the real quick Google business profile. So once again, hopefully you can pull open that Google business profile, and then let's see, look at your Google business name. Now let's pull open the checklist. Okay, so first off, we're going through your Google business profile. I'm going to pull open an example here. We're going to look at this stuff. But as we look at this, if you can have this on one page and your actual Google business on the other page, that'd be good. I'm going to move this over so I can look at it and look at another example here. So let me go. I have a profile example I'm going to show you here. Let me see it. Okay, so here's one. This is one I just made up. But if you log into business.google.com, you should be able to pull this up for your own. And then you will see something like this ideally. Here's how we can edit your profile. So first off, what I want you to do is you can look at it like this on your own. Again, this is the example I just pulled up. I don't know any of these people. This is Auto Body Shop in Memphis, Tennessee area. So you can pull this stuff up. But what I want you to do is go through the checklist. And we're going to see, one is, can you easily find your shop when you search Google for your business name? Since you are the owner of the business, it's probably going to work. But in some cases, if you type in auto body shop or paintless dent repair or detail or whatever it is in your area, yours may not come up first. So that's what we kind of want to work on. This is kind of a phased approach. But let's go back to this checklist. Let's see if you can see it over there. All right. So is your name, address, phone number, website, and business hours correct? let's look at the example. I'm going to open this profile. Again, you can't see it because it's not verified. But edit profile, we can look in here and see if we have all these things correct. So I actually may name this one Tulsa Paintless Dent Repair. Again, it's fake. I don't, if there's any Tulsa Paintless Dent Repair guys out there, then maybe I can give this to you. But is your name correct? Okay. Business category, auto painting. Actually, look at that. My category is actually incorrect. So I would want to fix this if I have paintless dent repair. I believe there's now a dent repair category for this one. But if you go in here, you can start typing in automotive and see what happens. Oh, there it is, auto dent removal service. So at the time they didn't have this, they recently added it. So we used to have to do body shops, auto body shop. So the dent removal one is there. So that's what you'd want to have. So there's one I could fix with this guy. Again, this isn't real, but that's how I could fix that right there. So if you have the wrong category right away, it's not going to work for you. But the other thing is we can actually add another category. So let's say I actually do auto painting, but maybe I have detailing. Okay, car detailing service. So now this guy, I got to fix this one, make it auto dent. I think it's a dent. So it's automotive. I know it's auto dent removal service. So I could have that one. I could have car detailing service. Again, this is all made up, but whatever your categories are, add that in there. Let me see if I have I also do boat detailing. I don't know if they have that in here. Okay, RV boat detailing. So if I have those, I want to add those in there as well. But again, only add the ones that you're actually doing. So add all those categories because that's a way for people to find you. Make sure you save that. Okay, I'm not going to save it because I don't want to get flagged in here. Okay, description. Now, this is a basic description, but what I've actually seen people do is make a description that makes no sense. It says something like, we help people with their cars in this area, but it doesn't. What you got to think about is the keywords in this particular description. This one's not bad. I made it up pretty quick, but we provide expert automotive paintless dent repair and removal for the Tulsa. That's actually not bad. But if you notice, we have 750 characters here. So we can actually do some more things right there. You just have to think about how that might work for yours. In this case, let's say the guy, I use the example of detailing. Let's say he also does say, you can say, we also provide expert car detailing, boat detailing, ceramic. If you notice these words, we haven't gotten yet to the keyword component of this yet, but you want to provide keywords in here. Because if you don't tell Google what you do, then they're not going to know. Provide it all there. Fill this out with keywords. Don't just stuff that make it in a sentence that actually tells Google what you do. And then you're gonna do that. You could look at this suggested AI one, and it might actually be okay. Maybe let's take a look and see what it does. Okay, look at that. So they made one that's pretty cool. You might want to edit that a little bit so it doesn't look exactly AI. Because yeah, serving the entire US, that makes no sense, right? They're only in Tulsa. So you do want to edit that. Okay, so save that once you get going. Opening date. A lot of people don't actually have this, but is there really a need? Probably not. But what I found is when you do what Google wants you to do, or these other social media platforms, then they actually give you more credit. So it's opening date. Fill out everything you can do in this whole profile. Contact phone number. This is actually our business phone number. Chat. So here you go. You can actually provide a chat deal. This used to be only WhatsApp. Now it's actually text. So even though you've got this on here, put your actual phone number in here that you can text to as well. Just because Google wants to know that you can do all this stuff. A website, again, look at this. I don't have a website on here, so I need to fill it in. What we found is that the people who had this stuff filled out correctly and maximized, it's going to actually give you more business. It's going to get your name out there quicker and easier. Social profiles. Again, all this stuff seems obvious. Google recently added some of these, but now they've got TikTok and all that stuff. If you have these, go in there and add them. Add the actual link. What I've actually seen people do this and put facebook.com. Okay, it's bad. Put your actual Facebook link. If you don't have one, it takes 2 minutes to set one up. Okay, go and set one up, create it, fill out the entire thing, and then put it in there. YouTube, you don't really need Twitter. Most auto shops don't need that. TikTok, you probably need it so here's a real quick thing. We're not really talking about video production today, but if you do any videos, which you should be doing for any auto shop out there, you can use a video for Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It can actually go on LinkedIn too, but you're not really going to get business there. So all these videos can go all those places and you can use it on your Google business profile. So add all these locations, make sure it's the correct, yeah, discard, I don't want that. Make sure it is the correct address for the social media profile. Location here, yeah, I didn't have a real location in here just because it was fake. This is for demonstration purposes, but be careful once you start changing locations because it may get flagged but once you have your profile up and running, this should already be good. Business hours, again, make sure that's all good. I believe you can do an appointment only now thing. Let me see. So you might, okay, permanently close, temporarily. So you could also do this open with no main hours. But if you have hours, make sure you put it in there. Cancel that. Special hours. You could do these things. Yeah, fill out everything we're doing here. And again, this might seem super obvious, but I could probably pull up people right here. In fact, let's look at this one example right here. Again, I don't know any of these shops, but I'm just showing you. No website is the first one. Look at that. I bet they have a website, but it doesn't list it right there. So website here, book online. Now they allow you to do a book online. So you can click that and make sure that's filled out. And we'll get to that here in a second. No book online. So see how these guys actually stand out quicker. If I'm looking between these two, they have more reviews, but look at that. It actually has this button. So it entices me to click there. So we could probably scroll down and see some things that might be able to be fixed. The website stands out pretty quick. Some of these guys might not have it, but some most likely do. Let's go back to the example here. More, let's see what this is. So yeah, if you have any kind of minority type deal, veteran, this stuff, add that in there. Crowd, I don't know what some of these are, but again, click in there and the more things you provide, the better it will be for you. Payments, even though accept credit cards, yeah, who doesn't? Click all the things that you do, service options, payments. Let's see what they do with payments. Okay, we did that already. All right. So that is the business information. Again, this seems so obvious, guys, but I just showed you one right here that doesn't have the number one person doesn't have a website listed. They probably have one. So you got to fix that. All right, next thing is we're going to get to reviews here in a second. Products, there's products and services. Now you might think I already told them what our service is, but look, they give you another block. You can actually edit the service. In some cases, you can fill out a lot of information about it. Some cases you can't, but I can do a custom service and I could say, I don't know, sometimes it allows me to fill out a big category. If it does, then fill it out and write a whole little paragraph about it. But in some cases, it doesn't let you do that. This Q&A thing can be very valuable. I don't know if it's going to let me pull it up here, but for instance, it might say, or let's say it's paintless dent repair. Do you fix small dents? Yes, we fix small dents in this area. So it's kind of it's kind of like it's kind of silly, but you're telling Google, you're not telling a customer, you're helping Google get you found out more, if that makes sense. Products, if you have any products whatsoever, add them in here. Again, I don't think I can't do this right now. I don't think because I'm not verified, but if you have a product, go ahead and do that. Most of you probably won't. Services would be bookings. Here's where you would add that button. Again, I can't do it because I'm not a verified one, but you can add a link, even if it's the same link to your website, right? Even if it goes to a get quote link, add that in there. But if you have an appointment system, add the direct link there. Let's see what profiles is. Okay, not that. That's additional profiles that I actually have. Post. Okay, so post is kind of like posting on Facebook or Instagram. So click in here and you can actually make a post. Make a post. How much does it help you? It's kind of hard to say. It's telling Google that you're alive. There is software out there where we can post directly on Facebook, Google Business, Instagram, TikTok, all these places easy. That's what I'd recommend you do. But at least it gets you out there. Photos. This is very important. All right. So right now, if I were to click on these guys, I hate picking on these guys too much, but let me see if I can pull up one there. Okay. So that's actually pretty cool. Pretty good photo. It shows the outside of the business. Is that the best thing? It doesn't tell me what they do, but it tells me they have a shop. So that's pretty good. But anyway, what we'd want to do is add photos. Make sure you add this cover photo. That's what that was called. Add your logo and then photos of your business, inside, outside. And I've got a little checklist here for you. I think that's on the sheet. Let me see if there's anything else here. Advertise, that'd be the last thing you do. Okay, we're gonna get to this. There's another one here. It's not showing. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Let's go back to the thing. So once again, this is gonna be something I want you to do today. Is everything correct? And my guess is for most people watching this, it's not. There's probably something that is not correct. And I just gave you an example of a couple of them. So here's some actions for you to do, ideally right away, right after this call. Complete your Google profile. Some of you have been in business for years and it's not entirely complete. But also at the same time, Google updates things, so they give you additional ways to update the profile, kind of like the social media, the TikToks. That didn't have that wasn't there years ago. But here's something that you can do right now. Most people are not doing this. Add 10 photos this week. Doesn't mean you got to add 10 extra, but you can add an extra into your employees if you can get permission. If you're the only employee or have some family, take pictures of employees doing stuff. Vehicles. I don't take pictures of the license plate, but vehicles and work you've completed, work jobs you can perform and completed, before and after pictures. And I also add videos. So if you've already have short videos, those can be posted right on your Google business without even doing anything, completed jobs. So here's something for you to do. Make sure you're writing this stuff down and you actually do it. Don't just watch this video and don't take action. I want you to actually do this stuff so that it helps. Okay, one more thing I'm going to mention on the profile. I started mentioning this when you're doing the write-up. Let me go back to this really quick on here. So as you're in here editing your profile, again, think about the keywords that are involved in your business. Now, we can't do anything about the name, but we can do something about the description and the products and the services. Make sure your products or services, most of you just services, are listed in the description, not just as all the words, but we provide this and this. Okay. So it should be what you provide and where it's at. This tells Google, this signals to Google what you're doing. All right. Now you also need to have it backed up with your website and some of these other things. It all combines to tell Google, hey, you're actually legitimate. Okay. Next thing is reviews. So this is also on your Google business profile. And as you notice from that example that I gave you, on here, we'll go back to these guys. Okay. The first one, typically the first one that comes up is the one with high reviews. There can be some exceptions to this because maybe the guy with lower reviews has a better profile and it makes more sense. Google is typically going to bring up the result that best fits the search for these people in this area. So auto body shop, if I move this around, it's going to shift it. Okay. Let's just do it right here. Live example. Oh, they're still there because they're right there. But and look at that. They're actually above these guys who are a big name. Where is it at? I don't want to. Oh, look at that. This is awesome. These guys are above that name. You can see it. And this is a big franchise. But if I move it around, it's going to change the name because now these guys are the best search for this particular area. That's what it's telling me. Okay. And in some cases, these guys have low reviews, but hey, they're still the best for this area. If I keep doing it, my guess is I'll probably see an ad at some point, but it's probably probably in a bigger area. Let's see if I went to Nashville. I bet we can get an ad to pull up. Let's see if that works. There, boom. Okay. Perfect example. So now the ad is popping up. These guys have 157 reviews. They're beating people with 1,000 reviews. This is a great example, and I didn't mean to actually shift to the ad component, but this is how you're getting above people with 1,000 reviews. So obviously, if we skip the ad, they're the top one. My big piece right now is talking about reviews, so let's go back to that. So reviews, let's look at, I just show you the Google Maps example, and who would you really, if you're looking for these for auto body shop here, who is the first one you're going to call? In this case, it's probably the ad, but so what happens is people look this up. These guys are the first ones and they call them. That's what's happening. If you're way down lower, chances are very slim that you're going to get calls unless they keep scrolling, looking around. So now let's a couple of things to talk about. I'm going to talk more about reviews, but why don't you check your reviews? How many reviews do you have? Hopefully you have a good amount. But what I found is there's some shops who have been in business for years and years and they don't have that many reviews. But when was your last review? And actually, I didn't put this in there, but the other question it should be, did you respond? Did you respond to it? Okay, so that's a question. Did you respond to it? If you didn't, go back and respond. Say, hey, thank you, Bob, for your review on our auto body job for your car. That'd be great. If you use the keyword back in the response, it can help as well. But ideally, they use the keyword in their review. So they may ask you, hey, what should I even say about the day you fixed my car? Say, hey, Bob, if you can say that we were a really great auto body shop or detailing business or whatever it was that you did, if you can have them mention that in the review, that actually gives you more credibility to Google and other customers than just giving you a 5 star. The 5 star is good, but when there's context behind it, and if they put pictures, that's an even bigger bonus. So that would be those things. Like I just said, great shops I've seen, and you probably know some, maybe you are one that have been around for years and you have only a handful of reviews. If you're getting Even if you're getting, let's say, 10 customers a month, if you can get half of those to give you a review, you'd have over 100 more per year. Okay. You get 10 more per month. So even if you can get 50%, but if you can get 50, 60, 70, 80% of the people give you a review, it's going to compound so many times. But this is one thing I want you to really think about. Not many people talk about this is don't just chase 5 star reviews. Okay. I want you to create a 5 star experience. And when you do this, you're never going to run out of business. Okay. So create a 5 star experience. And what do I mean by that? Hopefully, you all have experienced this, and maybe it's been a great restaurant, great hotel. One of the world famous examples of 5 star experiences is Ritz-Carlton. Expensive hotel restaurant. They've got restaurants too. Very expensive hotel. For some people, for me, it is. But I've been there. It's awesome. So the thing about it is, yes, you're paying a lot, but you're getting a lot. It's basically, if you go there, they don't tell you no for anything. Hey, can you get this? Yeah, we can take care of it. It's the experience from start to finish. And that's what I want you to think about for your business. Even if it's an auto repair shop, auto body, paintless dent repair, detailer, whatever it is, you can create this experience inside your shop or inside your mobile service, whatever it is. How do you do that? That's going to be upon you. But here's what let's think about this. Think about what a 5 star Ritz-Carlton experience would be for an auto repair shop or tire shop. How do you create world famous tires? I can actually remember a commercial years ago. I don't even remember the name of the guy, but maybe you guys do if you're older like me. I can remember like a tire commercial saying, what did it say? We love tires, or we make tires, or it was funny. It might have been a Michelin commercial. It was, ah, man, I wish I remembered it now. But it talked about basically it wanted you to go to that guy because he talked about how great the tires were. We're talking about tires, but how do you make this? Let's just think about it. How do you make an experience great from start to finish? What's the starting point? The starting point is probably, if we stick with the tire example, they have a hole in their tire, or they need tires, or something's wrong, and they don't want to get tires, but they need them. So they're calling you, hey, can you fix my tire? And first off, when they call you, you answer the phone in a professional manner. You answer with a smile. So if you're smiling, hey, how are you? As opposed to, oh, this sucks. I hate my. So the difference is your tonality, your voice mannerism, your facial expressions actually come through on the phone. So try to answer the phone. Whoever's answered the phone needs to follow this protocol. You want to train the people, whether it's you or whether it's the secretary or whether it's someone else, train them so that they make a great impression from the start. Because if they don't, they may go somewhere else. So great first impression. Don't tell them, make sure you can do it, do the work, right? Because they can go somewhere else down the street. And then when they tell you their problems, be sympathetic and all that stuff. And hey, we're going to take care of you. All these little factors from answer the phone or quote request or whatever it is. If they submit information, call them back as soon as possible. If they leave you a message and you couldn't answer it, you call them back, hopefully immediately or as soon as possible, so they don't think you don't care about them. How many times I've gone to contractors that try to come to my house and they don't even call me back. So that's what we want to avoid for our shops. We want our shops to be Ritz-Carlton experiences. If you have their car in your shop, try to make your shop beautiful. First off, make it amazing. That can be costly, but if you can keep it clean, if you can keep the bathrooms clean, the waiting area clean, different things to make it great. Coffee, even maybe you can't make a high-end shop in there, but you can certainly be clean, provide coffee, donuts, whatever it is. Maybe you don't do all that stuff. Air fresheners, all these little things add up to have a great experience inside there. Greeting people at the door when they walk in. You ever been to, I think it's Moe's or some of these restaurants where they actually greet you when you walk in the door. They're making their food, but they say, "Hey, welcome to Moe's," and there's other restaurants like that. So those little things get people to want to be there, even though no one wants to get their car fixed. But okay, oh man, it's great to be here. Think about those things, and then if you have their car multiple days, you're calling them back, you're letting them know. And there's things that we can do, we do on our end. We actually have software that can text people back throughout the job. So if you have a job for multiple days, weeks, you can actually automatically text them and give them updates. But either way, provide them updates on that stuff. At the end, you're going to get them an update. You're going to walk them around the car, show them things. It's not just, hey, your car's outside. Hey, here's what we did, all this stuff, and take it the extra level, extra mile. And you might say, that's a lot of work. Yeah, but you want people to tell you about. So here's the next piece is make it so good that people can't help but talk about you, right? We're kind of talking about things that you can do before getting to the ads, right? So if you have people leaving you reviews, telling other people about you, ideally that helps you before ads. Ads you probably need later, but this is what you want people talking about. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense for everyone. So think about how you can take it to the next level, take it to the extreme level. Doesn't matter how, if you just started, if you've been in business for years, how can you make your service so good? Not that you charge anymore, not that you have to do anything extra, but just having a great attitude and those types of things can be the difference between that experience. And then you got to ask for the review. So you can do all this stuff. You can be the greatest in the world, but if you don't ask, they're not going to give you a review. I went to that Ritz-Carlton. I don't think I left them a review. They didn't ask me. It's kind of funny. People ask me, hey, can you leave me a review for my restaurant? Yeah, I'll do it. I forget about it 10 minutes later. So what? How do you do that? First, you ask them, you can print out a QR code. I'm going to show you here on Google Business where to get this at. Have this on your checkout desk or wherever, whatever you guys do, your checkout counter, if you're in the shop or if you're mobile, have it right there. Say, hey, do you mind just leaving me a review right now? If you can get them to do that right there, it's going to be a lot better. If you can't get that, send them a review link, okay, quickly, and then follow-ups. Okay, we have software for this if you can't do it, but that is something you absolutely want to do. And here's how to do it. Here's where to get it in your software. Let me pull this up and show you if I can find it. I'm gonna have it here. Okay, so here, actually, let me back up here a little bit. This is mine. If you guys want to do this, if you guys want to leave me a review, you can. Okay, so on your Google Business, when you pull in here, let me see if you can see that there. Okay, after you go on your Google Business, edit profile, all this stuff, you can click Ask for Reviews. Now, hopefully, you can just send them to your Google Business, but you can get this exact link because sometimes you're like, where do I do it and all that, right? Make it so easy that all they have to do is click the link and click 5 stars. So get this link right here. That's the one I just showed you. Let me pull it up. It's going to say get more reviews. If you guys want to do that one, that'd be great. So copy that one. You can email it, Facebook it, but copy this, send this to your customer. Have it in your notepad or have it in your phone so that you can send this to people right away. Ideally, you have software that sends it to them right away. But here, right click on this. Look, Google makes this for you. Right click on that, save it, print it out. Okay. Have a cool little flyer right on your checkout counter that says this stuff. Okay. So what are we going to do once we get that link? Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I'd like you to do this right now. We can actually copy that link. Hopefully you got that in there. And then here's the script. Here's what we're going to tell them. Bob or Jim or whatever their name is. Thanks for trusting us with your vehicle. Whatever you want to say. Would you mind leaving us a quick Google review? It only takes a minute and really helps our shop, helps our business, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Then paste your link right there. I'm going to paste mine, see if it works. I got my link right there. Then I can say, I can just say my name. I can say James, right? Copy this and text that to them. I would challenge you right now. Okay. Send that text to one customer right now. And then if you can send that to a customer right now, you've already made this workshop worth it, right? But send that to a customer right now. My guess is you probably have customers, maybe even this week, that have not left you a review, maybe last week. So do that. But here is going to be your checklist items. And this should be on the checklist I sent you, but here's what I want you to do. Ask every satisfied customer. Right? So that is a caveat, right? Satisfied. If you get someone that's pissed off, you probably don't want to do it. You don't want a bad review. But if you do in the world-class experience, right, this is going to happen anyway, right? So if you have a Ritz-Carlton experience, yeah, there's people that are going to complain about it. Who cares, right? Try to help them out. Try to get it. Okay, what did you ask them? hey, how can we make this right? How can we make it better? There's gonna be something you mess up. All right. Don't worry about that, guys. You can't be perfect all the time. But if you try to do this, the more five-star reviews you get, it's gonna overcome those other ones. If you do get a bad review, first off, make sure it's not spam or your competitors. Those you can dispute. Okay. If you get some people saying, hey, thanks for the crypto, whatever, it's spam, it's fake, go in there, you can dispute the review. Or if it's your competitor or a former employee, you can also do this. So you want to get rid of those. But if it's a legitimate customer complaint, first off, try to get them off, try not to reply to it, try to call them, talk to them, see how you can make it right. Then respond back and say, thanks so much, we're sorry, and be apologetic, but don't make excuses. Because remember, people are going to see these things out there and they're going to think about that, oh, they're jerks. They don't like people. Anyway, make a great experience. Okay, back to the review section. Ask every satisfied customer for a Google review. Go into your Google business profile and get the link, copy the link I just showed you, send it to 10 recent customers or more. Maybe you guys had 100 recently. Now, on that note, I probably wouldn't ask for 100 right away. It might flag your Google business. But if you can get a few, right, send it to 5, 10, send it to some people over time. That way, it's slowly getting you more reviews. If all of a sudden you get 100 reviews, Google's probably going to flag it. They're going to think it's fake. Okay, so I hope people listen to that and got that right now. Again, send a text to one customer right now. Let's take a look at the checklist. It's probably a lot more than this, but here's the reviews on the checklist thing that I mentioned. Have a simple process to ask every customer for a Google review. All right, let's take a look at your website. Now, I'm not going to look at your website, but you are. And what I want you to do is think about these things right here. Let's go back to the presentation. So here's your website. And in most cases, it might be the first place people get an impression of you, right? If it looks like that, it might not work out. So if it says your website, okay. Here is an old kind of, this isn't actually it is actually a previous customer. They don't have this business anymore, so I don't think it exists. Anyway, when you look at your website, ideally look at it on your phone, on your computer. Some of you guys have awesome websites, I know. Okay. Some of you don't even have one. And then some have ones that are in between, like you can't tell what it is, right? If you work on a Mercedes, then make it a Mercedes quality website. Okay. So remember, people are trusting us with their vehicles. You want to make them comfortable. Oh yeah, this guy can do it, right? This is the first impression. If somebody looks at that like, oh yeah, he can definitely work on my car. But here's the things we want to make sure, not just that it looks cool, that's fine. More importantly, can they do what we want? Because honestly, we don't care how much time they spend on here. The only thing we care about is did they call us or request an appointment? That's it. So what I want you to do is look at your phone and see if these things happen. All right. Don't even scroll. If you open on your computer, look at it right away. If you look at your phone, don't even move it up and down because that's how fast a customer will decide whether to call you or do anything else. All right. So can a customer tell who you are, what you do, where you are? Some people I see like an awesome picture, awesome website, but I don't even know what they do. Do you guys, is it body work? Is it detail? What is it? In that first thing, it should tell you what they do and where you are. Okay. If they can't figure out that you're in, let's go back to our example. They can't figure out that you're in Memphis, right? It might say, we're the #1 body shop, but we don't, if it pulls up here, but it says Oklahoma, then it doesn't help us. It's got to say where it's at. How do I contact you? Why should I trust you? So let's go back to this example. There might be some of these missing, but okay. What do? I work on German cars. Okay, cool. You can fix my Mercedes, Audi, BMW. That's awesome. Okay, how do I get in get an appointment right there and there. Now, this one used to have the phone number, but we took it off. But I would say have the phone number right there as well and in the menu because some people want to call. But keep in mind, guys, a lot of us want phone calls, but we also don't want to make phone calls. So think about how it goes both ways. A lot of people, it's kind of weird. They might want all the service, but they'd rather just talk to a robot and say, hey, book my appointment on the phone. Or maybe it's late at night. So they're going to call you after hours. So you have to have a way for them to book an appointment or get an estimate. Some shops, some services, you need to have a way to get an estimate. For instance, a body shop repair, the detailing, maybe not so much, but PDR, those types of things, a lot of people want a quote. Okay. But you can tie it in to get an appointment. It doesn't mean you have to give them a quote. It means that, yes, I'm going to give you an estimate or a quote, And now you're going to come in to get that. So get their information, have them submit it, have them automatically book an appointment. Okay. And then in here, in this line, it should say German car repair specialist in Tulsa, in Memphis, right? In that location. That way they know where you serve, and it could be up top, could be right here. Doesn't have to be like in the headline. Okay. So now hopefully that helps you. So here's the actions. Look at the checklist, and let me pull it up real quick just to verify we did all this stuff. Does your website work on a phone? Most of the websites out there now should be, they call it mobile ready, right? It means that if you scroll, it doesn't look all weird. Years ago, a website that was created in the old style, it would be all stretched out so it wouldn't work. Now, most builders are automatically compressing it, but you do need to check and look. Sometimes the fonts don't look right. And then can a visitor immediately tell who you are, what you do, where you're located? Is your phone number easy to find and tap on mobile? On mobile, pretty much all phone numbers are clickable. You don't have to do anything special, pretty much, but you do want to check it. And easy to find. Don't make people have to scroll, look all, how do I get a hold of this guy? Okay. They should be able to do that on any page. An easy way to do that is have it in the header and the footer. Okay. That way it's there. Obvious way to call now. Okay, here's an extra piece I didn't mention. Most important services have their own pages. For instance, if you do auto body, should it be its own page? Collision, it's kind of the same thing, but that could be separate because it's a separate keyword, really. Let's say that shop also does detailing, could have detailing, whatever, and paintless dent repair as well. That would be all those things. And again, contact you without hunting through the website. So that's kind of the website piece. All right, so the next piece is this, and we're going to go into the last one here. Kind of, I want you to put yourself in your customer's shoes, and we kind of already did this, to be fair. We kind of already looked at this, but how do your customers find your product or service? And we're talking about Google, so I should have asked this earlier, but in reality, people are searching for it, right? They're Googling it. And how do we know they are doing? Because we can actually look this up and find out the exact data. And I'm going to do that here in a second just to prove the point. But what are they doing? I did show you this on the Google Maps here. Let me see. I did this auto body shop. So we know, look, there's enough people here that these guys are doing an ad. So we can do this anywhere in the country for any of our services, and these are going to come up on Google Maps. You can also do this on Google, and you'll get the same thing. Okay, so auto repair shop. This is going to happen in Google Search and Google Maps. But what are customers actually searching for? We might think, hey, they're searching for some weird keyword, but in reality, we have to find the data. So here's how we're going to do it. You can do this yourself if you have a Google Ads account, but it's free to do it. So I'm going to show you a keyword planner and how to do this. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see. Okay, so here's where to go. You're going to go to, it's called business.google.com. That would be your Google business listing, but then just go to this Google Ads, or you can type in Google Ads and it'll pull this website up. Now, if you don't have an account, you're going to have to start now, but you can sign in. It doesn't cost anything if you don't have this. So sign in. And then once you sign in, you're going to pick your account, and then we're going to go over to, it's going to look something like this eventually. It might look a tad bit different because mine is a kind of a manager account, but you're going to come to here. And what you're going to do is you're going to go over to tools, and you'll see this thing called planning right there. See it right there? It might be up. Tools, and then click on planning, keyword planner. So now, since I used the Memphis example, Memphis, let's pretend I have a body shop in Memphis, even though I know it's probably a significant number of searches. So I'm going to hear in keyword planner. This is the quickest and easiest way to do this. There's other ways to do it too, but I'm going to show you the quickest way. Discover new keywords. Okay, so now if you have no idea what you do, I have an auto body shop. Let's look up auto body shop. Is anybody looking that up? Auto body shop. Now you're going to do this for your type of shop, whether it's paintless dent repair, auto repair shop, right? Mechanic, detailing. You can put car detailing, you can put boat detailing, whatever it is you got, put that in there. But let's do one at a time, and I'm going to click get results. And now, initially, here's what you got to be careful upon. This thing right here says United States. It's the entire US. We don't want that. Who cares? We want our actual location. So for my example, I'm doing Memphis. All right, so there's several things here. On these bigger cities, you do have to watch out. This is the actual city. It's called DMA. I would click this include and just see how big it is. Memphis. Maybe you have outlying areas and you could, I want to show you what happens if I click the big one. It's way bigger. So a body shop's not going to do all that. Let's close that out. But the other way to do this is, let's say you don't live in a big city like this. Let's say you live in a county. You could type in whatever the county is right there. And that might work for you as well. But hopefully you get the understanding. Save that. Now it's going to give you all the keywords for that area. So there's a couple things we got to do over here. You could download all this yourself. Check over here because sometimes if I put auto repair, sometimes it puts body shop in there, which I would not want to do if I'm mechanical, unless you do mechanical as well. So you can look in these things and see if there's anything you don't want. For instance, if I was doing detailing and body shop came up, I would not want that. So check right here. You can uncheck that or check it, whatever, it doesn't matter. Sometimes there's certain things in here that do not apply. All this would probably apply for a body shop, brand, non-brand. Sometimes like detailing, you might see things like Meguiar's and these other products. You wouldn't necessarily want that. Aurora, okay. I think all these are good. Okay, so I think all those are good. Now I can click download keyword. See your Google Sheet. I'm going to pull this up and show it, see exactly. So it's pretty quick. It'll download. I'm going to pull this up and show you live. Literally, I just did this. Let's see. Okay, oh, no, that's a calculator. Okay. Okay, so this is what happens. But okay, now what the heck do we do here? I'm going to make it easy. You don't have to do a whole lot. What I like to do is I do delete this column because it doesn't matter. It's all US dollars. But if I take this and I highlight that, drag it down, I realize this is extra work, but it's pretty quick. Because honestly, I have not done this today. So I'm just showing you. Let me see if I can expand this a little bit. Okay, so here's the full Excel sheet. Click data and click sort. Sort on average monthly searches, which is that right there, largest to smallest. Okay. All right, so now the next thing we want to do is we've got to do a little math. Equals sum. There might be a quicker way to do this. I'm not an Excel master. I'm going to get this entire column and I enter, and look at that. That's 57,000 searches. Let me make this bigger, just show you. Okay. So 57,000 searches every single month for body shops. Now, in Memphis, again, remember this is that Memphis area. Now, look at that. 5,000 people a month are searching for these guys, Caliber Collisions. Okay. What does that mean? Do they actually care about this place? Maybe not, but it means that it's a possibility for you to get in front of this search. Now, how much does it cost? Here's the cost. These are the average, high, and low. Simple. I'm just going to do the average here. Average. Oh, sorry about that. You don't have to do the whole thing. It's probably get a good section there. That's the average, high, and low. And I want to explain this real quick. It's not too difficult to understand. Okay, just so you can see it. Okay, $1.83 is kind of the average low. $4.30 is the average high. So body shop, look at that. This is actually insane. So on average, you can spend maybe $2 to $3 for a click for body shop type repairs. You're gonna have to do this for your own specific area and for your specific service, but this would generally be for most automotive services out there. For everything I told you, this is about right. So it might be about $2 to $3 per click. For body shops, I know shops that their average RO is at least over 1,000, maybe 3,000 or more. You might have cheaper jobs, but so to get a job that would only cost a couple bucks is pretty significant. But we do have a calculator. I'm not going to go into this. It's on our site. You can plug in these numbers, plug in and see as far as return on marketing investments to see this. This is for the ad stuff. Okay, let me just explain this practically speaking. I looked up auto body shop and it's right there between $2 and $3. Let me go back to this guy. Okay, here's auto body shop. So what that means is, let me see if I can align the spreadsheet. We know auto body shop is in this range, right? So we know it's $2 to $3 per click. And we got an ad right there. So now if I'm not going to click on this guy, but if this guy got clicked on, it would cost $2 to $3. And look at this. He is way above these guys who have 1,000 reviews. That's the power of getting in front of your audience. Okay, for $2 to $3 per click. Maybe it takes 10 clicks to get a customer, a lead. Maybe it takes $20 to get a lead, which is what we see. We see about $15 to $30 per lead on these. And maybe half your leads become customers. But for that much job, it's very worth it. So that is how you get in front of those guys. That's the demand search, right? What I wanted you to see about this was not necessarily the ad piece, but I wanted you to see the demand for your area And these are types of keywords you can put in your Google business. Now you wouldn't put these guys, that would be that I don't think that's legal or right, but you would put the rest of these if you're a body shop. If you're not, you put in whatever the biggest searches are for you. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for you guys to see the keyword planner walkthrough. I know we got a bunch of people on here, but if that makes sense, just keep that in mind. So again, we're not guessing there. We actually looked that up to see the numbers. So now what I want you to do is go through that and see, write down the top services where you want more customers. Okay. Write those things down and figure out the numbers of people who are actually searching. Because a lot of times what the people will say is it's a bad time of year, it's bad economy, bad this and that, and the other. But in reality, the only issue to me for most places, and there are some places out there that might be a little bit different, but for most places out there, the issue is that you're simply not getting in front of this massive demand. And for most people watching, most people in the auto services shops, this is actually low. It might be much higher for auto repair. It'd be similar for detailing, body shops or in the mid tier, but most places out there, you're going to have a significant demand for auto repair, auto body detailing. Paintless repair will be a little bit lower. Okay. So write down these things. Here's an example for auto repair shops. You might want these. Interestingly enough, I just talked to someone the other day for brakes. You'd think brakes wouldn't be that big, but it was something like 60,000 searches a month in kind of a smaller area. So brakes are up there. Even if all you wanted to do is brakes, it's out there. Body shop example, we just saw the demand side for that. So you just saw the real life thing, but all these are actually significant searches, but the top ones will be body collision. And so it kind of transitions into Google Ads, which is actually the next piece, even though I kind of got ahead of myself and kind of talked about it a little bit. On the checklist here, we just looked at this search demand and high value services. I messed up the checklist. So write down the 5 services you must want customers for, and it kind of correlates to what's the highest ROI. Maybe there's a high volume with lower ticket, or maybe there's a high or low volume with high ticket. It's kind of a mix. Sometimes you got to get people in a low ticket and upsell them, if that makes sense. If you have a small dent repair, maybe you upsell them into something else, detailing into something else. Collision, it's usually all in one just because if it's an insurance type job. And then you want to make sure, does your Google business clearly reflect those services? And then here's the big key for the next piece is which one are worth advertising based on average job. Okay, Google Ads. Now, here's what we're going to talk about. Are you currently running Google Ads? Now, the first piece is what we just did is the search demand there. Before you're doing that, you want to make sure there's demand. So you would want to look this up in your area, make sure you have your area dialed in, your keywords, and you're going to find out the demand. Okay. So now here's an example, even though actually I showed one before, but here's another example. This is actually Houston, I believe, but there's a collision. And yeah, the big key, which I think you saw from the live example, is that the ad, let me go back to that one, it's a little bit better. This ad has lower numbers than this guy. So we could probably let's go to a completely different area. Let's go to this Louisville. Let's go here, see. We might get an ad. That's crazy, 53 over 846. Sometimes Google shows people that have lower reviews as a better shop for whatever reason. But yeah, if you do this yourself, you'll eventually just see ads. One thing I would tell you is that if I can see your ad outside of the area that you're in, then your ad is incorrectly set up. Okay, so this right here, guys. Look at this example. We're still doing auto body shop, but I don't even know if these guys are a body shop, but it looks like repair. But regardless, 10 reviews over 341. That is just amazing. Okay. How in the world can a guy with 10 reviews beat someone with 341 or 1,300? This is how. Okay. So Google Ads is getting you in front of these people when they have no chance. These guys have zero chance in front of these other ones, right? But with the ad, you can get up there. So my guess is these guys might be getting business on these keywords. They might not even have things set up correctly. In fact, I know they don't because I should not see your ad outside this service area. So they may have just set this up recently. Okay, I hope that conveys the point about how powerful this is. But before you do that, you really want to understand all the things that I've already talked about as far as your Google business, your website set up, making sure that stuff's set up and correct before you run ads. It won't be good if you don't have the ability to capture those leads. when you do an ad, here's a couple things I just want to talk about is when someone clicks on your ad, whether it's this or here's an example of PDR, clicking that or auto repair. When they click this, what I want you to do is have it go to a landing page, not just your website. Okay. What I mean by that is think about PDR, think about the auto body one. Here's an example. Looking for the top auto body shop and whatever, have a simple form and have them fill it out and submit it. Okay. Otherwise, if you do that, if you don't do that, if these ads are going somewhere else, if it goes to your website and you don't have the conversion set up correctly, if you have too many options, you'll lose leads. So you want one option or two is call us or fill out the form. That's it. Okay. So now last thing is before you spend $1 on Google ads, okay, don't get anybody convinced you do Google ads until you've already set this stuff up. You've already done everything I told you to do, all the review stuff, the business, the Google business, the website stuff. Okay. What services do you want more of? Clearly define your service area. And this is critical. I just showed you ones where they're not working right. I just showed you these guys. They don't have their area set up right. There's one setting that they don't have it. I could fix it in 2 minutes. Okay. But because of this, they could be wasting thousands of dollars. I'm not sure. Hopefully they're not. I don't want anybody to fail. So know what a new customer is worth. What's your average customer ticket? It's simple to know. Everybody should know this already. Not your highest ticket or your lowest one, but the average, right? And what is the average that most people will pay? Maybe what you want is not necessarily what everyone is willing to pay. So you need to know that and know how to target what most people are going to do, and then you can get more from there. I hope that makes sense. Have a good landing page. I just told you that one. Track calls. So as calls are coming in, hopefully you have a tracking system and you're calling people back as soon as possible and tracking any leads that are coming in. Track quote request, answer calls. Guys, I've actually called body shops and they don't answer the phone and there's no voicemail set up. It's bad. I've called shops like this. So make sure if you're during the working day, I know there's a ton of spam calls out there, but the problem is if we don't answer customers' calls, you're going to lose business. So if you can't answer your own call, have a service set up that answers every call. So even though, yeah, there's a lot of spam garbage out there now, you got to be able to answer that and respond quickly to leads. So these couple things right here, this may be worth the time you spend on here. Just answer the phone and call people back. All right. So we're almost done here, guys. Here's a couple things. I just want to show you how Google Ads. This is for a couple clients of ours, body shops. Okay. Basically no leads before. These are, I think the blue are conversions. So they're phone calls and quote requests is what you want set up. You do have to be careful that you're not just doing conversions because there's conversions for store visits. There's conversions for people who get directions to your shop. That is good, but it's not a conversion that we would want. Okay. So some of these, I think this is PDR, pretty consistent there. As far as timeline goes, how quickly can Google Ads work? It can actually generate leads pretty quick. Okay. That said, it has to be set up correctly. There's a lot of things that have to be done correctly. And Google will actually tell you it takes 14 days for learning to be completed. So it's got to be set up quickly. But the bigger thing to understand is it gets in front of the people who are high intent customers once it's going properly. So once you're in front of that, this is every single month for most places. Whatever your shop is, unless maybe you're in Alaska or some places where no one lives there half the year. But most of the time, any of these auto searches are consistent during the year. All right. So here is another thing I want you to think about. If somebody calls and nobody answers or submits a form, or you wait till tomorrow, you might have paid Google for a lead for your competitor, or you may have paid for leads that aren't even good. I hear people saying the leads aren't good, but they don't call back is the issue. They don't answer the phone. You've got to make sure that you contact your leads back as soon as possible. Even if you're not running ads, this could actually help people out there now who are missing opportunities. And this kind of goes along with this is here's what happens when someone calls. What happens? You've got this lead now. What? The customer searches, they find your shop, they either call or submit a quote request. Okay. Then what happens is you really got to answer the phone, you got to call back, you got to close that lead. So this is the next piece. Getting the leads should not be that difficult because there's plenty out there. The next piece is that customer experience that we talked about a little bit before. And really it's responding and following up quickly. So I've kind of already mentioned this stuff. Let me check this, the checklist piece here. So we went through this Google Ads piece. If you're doing them, here's what I want you to look at. If you're not, before you do this, I want you to look at these things and just make sure all this stuff is set up before you actually do any ads. And then these are really the top 5 things. The calls piece is kind of an extra bonus, but you do need to answer calls very quickly and call people back. What I would suggest is if anyone submits a form, kind of like a landing page form or your website form or chatbot or anything like that, have it automatically text and email leads back right away. Okay. Beyond that, you should actually be answering calls. Not necessarily you. I'm not talking about you, the owner specifically, but you or designee or manager, secretary type person needs to answer calls or call back quickly. Because a lot of these things are high demand services, they'll call someone else. Respond to quote requests quickly. You can't wait for days or weeks. Even if you wait for a couple hours, you may miss it. What we say is within minutes. That may seem difficult or impossible, but there's software to be able to do that. But then you have to have a system to be able to follow up quickly. Okay, here is one thing to know what marketing is actually working. And I've kind of mentioned this already, but I want you to track your calls, your leads, your appointments, the job, and then the revenue. As you do that, you can actually track and see how the ads are converting ads or just your whatever it is you're doing to get leads, how it converts to revenue. Okay, we're almost done here. Okay, so here's one thing to think about. If you're spending money on Google, but you can't tell me how many jobs you generated, then you don't really know what your marketing is working on. And here is a quick action plan, guys. I've gone over a lot of this stuff already, but what I want you to do is Google your shop. I want you to check your Google business profile, check your reviews, start adding reviews as we talked about, or requesting reviews, going through all these things. These are simple things you can do today, and then add these things every week as you go forward. Last thing, guys, is this. If you're still here today, maybe if you see this later, I'm not sure if we'll put this out on the YouTube or not, but if you're still seeing this, you want to get a free Google visibility review. Some of these things I showed how easy it was to do, but it may not be that simple for you. So if you want me to look at, or my team to look at some of this stuff, how it looks to us and to customers out there, click over to our website, autoshopmarketingpros.com, and click on schedule. You can also text back the phone number that we sent you everything or the email, and we can schedule a time to talk. It's completely free. We'll just talk about all the things we said, give you a free analysis I gave you to go over our auto shop marketing calculator and see what the ROI for, even if you went to ads or stuff, would cost. But a lot of times that's really an investment into future growth. So again, if you'd like me to look at that for your shop, your market, schedule a time. Think I'll take a deeper dive on everything we covered today and show you what I recommend for your shop. So we went quite a bit over what I expected today because I think this was a lot deeper dive than I was planning for, but I like to just tell people a lot more things that they can take action on. So I would, at this point, guys, thank you all for coming. And again, go ahead and click in there. Let me see, autoshopmarketingpros.com and click on schedule. So if you have that, then schedule a time and we can chat. But beyond that, I will talk to you guys later. So take care, God bless, and we'll talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.